Hey everyone, my name is Roselia and I love art and to talk about the latest trending things like movies, TV shows, games, you name it. This is the first video on my channel and the first video for my Draw With Me series. If you're like me and you ought to be drawing but you don't, now's the time to grab that pencil, pen, whatever tool you prefer, and we're gonna be productive and talk about the latest stuff. Today we are talking about Birds of Prey and the fabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. So I went to see this movie Thursday night. It was like 8:50 p.m. If you're not into superheroes or not a fan of the DC universe, here's like, I guess, little quick crash course on some of the characters. Most of them are part of the Batman universe. So like Harley Quinn, Joker, he doesn't show up in the movie, but you know, he's heavily present in it, even though he doesn't actually show up. Black Mask, who goes by Roman in the movie. Saz, and he's the guy with all the cuts. Huntress and Renee Montoya. Canary is not originally a part of the Batman universe, but she does appear in Birds of Prey, like the comic timelines. If you're not familiar with these characters, I would suggest learning a little bit about them before watching the movie. Like plenty of other superhero films, especially with DC, they cater to people who already know about these characters. So even if you've, like, as a child, seen the Batman animated series or Justice League animated series, you'll be fine. Like, you'll know who everyone is. But if you've never seen a superhero film, then I would highly suggest at least looking up on Google about some of these characters. Otherwise, you'll just be confused. The entire movie takes place in Gotham City. So the overall gist of the movie is that Harley Quinn and the Joker, they break up. So Harley realizes that when she was with the Joker, she had a lot of protection, and now that she isn't with him anymore, everyone's like out to kill her for all kinds of reasons. Like one guy, she broke his legs, so now he wants to kill her. I mean, that's not that I condone killing people, but I mean, she literally just broke his legs. Anyhow, so Black Mask, he's the main antagonist of the story. Naturally, she wronged him in many different ways. Some of them, you know, what was it? There was one grievance where she called him espresso, which was hilarious. But, you know, he's like super nutty. So the smallest things gets on his nerves. And, you know, Harley Quinn, like, there's just tons of things she's done to get on his nerves. So he wants her dead. And he kidnaps her, and he's like about to torture and kill her. But she offers to do something for him in return for her life. So, backtrack a little earlier into the movie. Black Mask is trying to get a hold of a special diamond, and the diamond is stolen by Cassandra Cain, who's like the little Asian girl in the movie, and who's a pickpocket. So Harley offers to get him Cassandra, and you know, he agrees. She eventually finds Cassandra, but Cassandra swallowed the diamond, and I'm like, who swallows the diamond? I mean, she's a kid, I know that, but like, still, who swallows a diamond? Anywho, so Harley, she's not gonna cut her open because, you know, she has morals, I guess. And they end up going to the store and buying like a ton of laxatives, and so now she has to keep like Cassandra around until the diamond comes out the other end. Let's start off with what I liked about the movie. 1. I like the characters they choose to be in the Birds of Prey group. If you don't know who that group is, it's basically like an all-girl team in DC Comics. The members, they're not always the same. They change every now and then. You know, Canary. Huntress. And they're reoccurring members. Batwoman and Batgirl are reoccurring members. I think they're the current members now, actually. Considering Batman was absent in the movie, I actually thought they would include Batwoman or Batgirl but they didn't, and I'll come back to this point later. 2. Not that I would ever, again, condone killing people, but I was so happy when Black Mask died at the end. Again, he's a nutty character, and honestly, he was just a terrible, terrible guy. Like, he was an a-hole, and the actor did a good job portraying him because I just hated his guts throughout the whole movie. 3. So, Margot Robbie, again, she played Harley Quinn. She played Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, and she did an excellent job. Like, honestly, it's like Robert Downey Jr. Like, you can't imagine anybody else playing Iron Man. I can't imagine anybody else playing Harley Quinn. Like, she's Harley Quinn now. So hopefully if they make other adaptations and, you know, any other movies that involve Harley Quinn in it, I hope she plays the character again, because she just did a phenomenal job. Like, A+. Now the negatives. 1. I don't like the villain they chose for this movie. Now again, the actor, he did a great job. I absolutely hated the guy. Like, the Black Mask was a misogynist, racist, sadistic. He was just an outright a-hole, terrible person, period. But I did not like the choice of Black Mask. Honestly, I'm not really sure why I don't like the choice they made. I just feel like they could have gone with a different villain. Because again, Black Mask isn't really, like, I'm all for putting characters that aren't, you know, usually in film. So I don't think Black Mask has ever been in a live action film that I know of. But I wasn't into it. Also, his relationship with Zaz, like, they say they're quote unquote best friends, but there were moments in the movie where I was like, they feel like more than friends. And I don't know if anyone else felt that way, but there was some points in the movie where I was like, are they really friends? Because, you know, they could be more than that. But it never outright shows them being like more intimate, you know, unless torturing people is an intimate moment. 2. Some of the characters for me fall kind of flat. Like Canary, she has this tragic backstory of losing her mother. The original Black Canary. So her mother was helping the police fight crime, but at some point, you know, she was taken down, presumably by a bad guy, and no one was there for her. Like, she was dying, not the police were there, like, she just died alone. So that's Canary's reason for not wanting to help the police. Ray Montoya, she's the detective in the story who's like trying to find Cassandra, the little girl who took the diamond, and Canary's refusing to help her because she says she doesn't want to end up like her mother. And I can understand that being the reason she doesn't want to help the police, but to me that doesn't explain why why she chose not to use her powers. Like, through this whole movie, she's putting up with Black Mask, you know, his BS. And I'm like, girl, just yell at him real quick. And if you don't know, Canary's power is she uses her voice to cause damage, like serious damage. And I'm like, there are just moments where I'm like, why aren't you using your powers? And then finally, you know, kind of towards the end, we see why she isn't using them. And this is all assumption. I don't know if this is the actual reason, but when she finally uses her powers for the first time, she only uses it once in this movie, and when she finally does, she passes out. So I'm assuming, okay, she probably can't control it, and that's why she's not using it. But, you know, there's never, you know, indication earlier in the film that, you know, shows that she can't control her powers. Like, there's this scene when she's singing in the club and her voice goes like really, really high, you know, a glass breaks. But it's not like after that moment she was like exhausted. Like, there's no point in the movie where I felt like she didn't have control of her powers and that's why she's not using them. Because my original thought was she wasn't using them because of what happened to her mother. But, you know, seeing that other moment, I'm like, okay, she can't control it. Anyhow, that's just my opinion. But I didn't like that part of the movie. I wish I would have loved to seen her use more of her powers. 3. There was a scene in the movie that made absolutely no sense whatsoever. So the birds of prey, so Huntress, Canary, Renee Montoya, Harley, and Cassandra, they just got into a huge fight. So like, basically they're in an abandoned amusement park, and Black Mask shows up, and he has like a whole army. And so, they're fighting them. On the inside the amusement park, they're fighting them. They managed to defeat, the bulk of his army, and they're walking out the front entrance. The front entrance that Black Mask pulled up in front of. They saw him pull up in front of, and they're leaving through the front entrance, and then they're surprised to find more bad guys. That just did not make any sense to me. That was like the second that happened in the movie, I was like, y'all really took the front entrance after y'all just saw him pull up? Like, he's not gone. Like, you thought he would just leave? I don't know. That part didn't make any sense. Anyhow. 4. There's a scene in the movie where Harley goes into her happy place, and this is after Black Mask, like, he slaps her really hard, and her happy place is this dance routine. At least this version of her happy place is a dance routine. Diamond's a girl's best friend, not the Megan Thee Stallion version. To me, if this scene felt kind of random, like, I can understand it as a coping mechanism, but it's the only time this happened in the movie. Like, if there was some other scenes where, she was retreating into her head, and there were, the same kind of routine, but maybe with different, people in it, I could understand. But this is the only time it happened, and it just felt out of place to me. 5. It really bothered me that Harley became a target after breaking up with Joker. The story is told in Harley's perspective, so it's all her narration. Now, she says she broke up with the Joker, but honestly, it's not really clear who broke up with who. Eventually she accepts that she isn't Joker's girlfriend anymore. And my whole thing, I'm like, the whole time you were with the Joker, you didn't have any street cred? Like, and if you know Harley Quinn, like, if you know the character, not from Suicide Squad or just in general, like from comics and, the TV, like Batman animated series. And Telltale came out with a Batman game that I really loved how they portrayed Harley Quinn. And in the game, if you've ever played the game or if you've ever seen a walkthrough, it's like, I just love how they made that character. She was no one to be trifled with. And I'm like, I don't know, it just rubbed me the wrong way that everyone was after her like she was weak. Like, I didn't like that people thought she was weak so they could just go after her as if she doesn't kick butt. Because again, she's not stupid. Like, she's crazy, but she's like wicked smart and like has all these skills. So I'm like, wow, I just didn't like that part of the movie. 7. So my last point is that they're in Gotham City, right? At the beginning of the movie, Harley blows up a chemical plant. The Black Mask is slicing off people's faces, and he put a $500,000 bounty on a child. Where is Batman? Is he on vacation? Is he fighting some epic battle that would decide the fate of humanity with the Justice League? Like, where is he? And this brings me back to my point about adding Batwoman and Batgirl, who are part of the Bat family, into the story, because to me that would make sense if there was like, a replacement for him being gone, like Batwoman and Batgirl. But the fact that he just never shows up, I'm like, and there was, because there's things that happen in Gotham that maybe he'll choose maybe to let the police deal with or whatever. But I'm like Black Mask is like running amok in the city, and there's no Batman. I'm like, that didn't make any sense to me. There to me should have been like a reason. Maybe there could have been like a quick cut to, the news where it shows him, off fighting with the Justice League, or maybe there's like some god-awful, terrible thing that clearly requires his attention, that he cannot be in Gotham, his home city, mind you, to protect it from like Black Mask and, you know, protect this child who has a 500,000 bounty on her. But that's, you know, that's just my opinion. Overall, it was an okay movie. Like, if you want to see something that's action-packed, got plenty of action, if it was supposed to be very comedic, I didn't find myself laughing that often. There were some really funny moments. The actress who plays Cassandra Cain, she was hilarious. I loved her. But I honestly didn't find it that funny. Like, I saw like something online that said it was funnier than Deadpool, and I was like, it was funny, but it wasn't like, it didn't have me like cracking up every other second like Deadpool. It doesn't follow a linear timeline, so the timeline does kind of skip around a bit. It didn't really bother me, but I felt it was kind of unnecessary, and I could see some people getting confused about, you know, following along, because it does skip around quite a bit. But I can see myself watching Birds of Prey on like Netflix, or, you know, whatever premium channel it ends up on. I would give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. Like, the visuals and the actors were definitely worth watching, but the plot just does not do it for me. I felt like it could have been stronger. I felt like there were just too many like plot holes, and like, even though the actors did such a good job, like some of the characters were just low-key bland. Like, they just didn't do it for me. Also, DC came out with an adult animation about Harley Quinn, and it's the same kind of concept where she breaks up a Joker and, you know, she's going out solo into the world. I would highly recommend watching this series, especially if you haven't seen Birds of Prey yet. I would watch a couple episodes before watching Birds of Prey. If you don't have a DC subscription, I think they have like a week or 2-week free trial. I'm not sure. But I have a subscription, so it's a great animated series. Like, it's adult animation, so there's like tons of cursing, and it's hilarious. I loved it, but I would definitely watch that. Alright, so what did you think about Birds of Prey? What did you like? What didn't you like? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe. Bye bye!